Hello and welcome to the ultimate loss in the battle to Ick. I've been fighting Ick for a while now. It's been a couple months, and this video is just going to kind of show how it took over, what happened, not so much why it happened. A little disclaimer, there's not really any tips to preventing Ick. The only way to prevent Ick is a copper quarantine tank. And I just don't have the necessary resources to do so. I noticed it when my royal grandma here, he would just come out of his cave a lot less, not even during feeding time. And this is the first time I did see him. He was covered in white spots, like everywhere. The video doesn't quite do it justice, but when he did come out, he would eat a little bit and then be very skittish. And that made me look at the rest of the fish, and wow. There was a lot of white spots all over the fish, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't know where it came from. I purchased this tank from Petco, and I went super late right before closing just to look because I was right in the area. I wanted to get some prices on a couple of fish, and the dude there was really just talking to me to the point where I eventually just kind of bought him. And as soon as I got home, I noticed he had some flukes on him, which, I couldn't take him back because Petco has a no return policy, and the fish store was closed, so I couldn't just leave him in the bag overnight. I didn't know what to do, so I put him in the tank, and I just hoped for the best. And for a long time, he did good. All the flukes fell off, and I would say for about a month and a half, there wasn't really any signs on any of the other fish. He would get a couple flukes, and that was it. I looked it up. Stress ick is pretty prevalent. It can be, a thing. So just kind of blamed it on that. Kept going about my day. And then, I read up online. It said that ginger really helped. So I started putting some ginger in the tank, which I'm not gonna lie, the fish that ate ginger, they mistook it for food and they ate the ginger. They did do well. That did definitely prolong it just a little bit. And then it just kept getting worse. You can see more and more spots on the fish. And not being able to do a quarantine tank and just watching this fold and unfold and keep going, it was a little tough. I've been sitting on this video for a while, not really wanting to upload it, but this is a progression channel. So the white spots, they started getting really, really bad, covering the fish from head to toe, even though they don't really have toes. And it just hurt. If you didn't know, I had names for them all. This is Jaundice, the fish, the Nemo, and his counterpart, his name is Omen. And I woke up one day to see this. My boy Gurgle, the royal grandma, getting eaten alive by all the hermit crabs. And this is when I went into sheer panic mode. And I realized that, oh wow, my fish tank has a bad ick problem. You could see the tang next to the power head trying to get a little bit of relief. And I was like, okay, I need to do at least something. I can't sit here and continue to do nothing. Even though it won't affect my corals, I do enjoy this fish. So I started making a little food concoction just with some, some garlic and some fish food, and then the ginger. And they ate it really well. And this prolonged it a couple more days, I would say. And I think it would have prolonged it much of a longer time, but then something else happened. I will say that feeding them this much and trying to keep them this nutrified definitely made my tank have a green hair algae problem. It's still really prevalent. It's awful. It's completely taken over the tank. It looks terrible, but you know what? As long as the corals are happy, I don't really mind it too much. And I was just trying to feed them as much as I could, keeping them fed. And you can see the tang desperately asking my banded shrimp for a little bit of relief, a little bit of help. And my banded shrimp just doesn't really, it doesn't really work on smaller fish like that, unfortunately. And this is the last video that I got of both of my clownfish together. So you got Nemo, the typical, and then Omen, which is just Nemo backwards. Actually, I got him from Petco too, but way long ago. Here's some cool fish. You can see all the corals in the background. They're doing fine. It doesn't affect corals, which really benefits me. You see all the flukes all over the tail, and you didn't really see it on the clownfish too much. And what surprised me is that it hit the clownfish harder than it hit the tang. And clownfish are supposed to have those thicker slimes coat, immune to anemone stings. And then the next day, Omen really just was cuddled up against this rock. He's never been in this spot before. He wasn't looking good. And then at the worst time, tragedy struck. My power went out. My power went out for 9 hours, and within hour 2, Omen had passed away. He went down within the first 2 hours, and it sent me into a sheer panic. I didn't have an oxygenator or an oxygen pump or anything, so this is me just trying to get oxygen into the water whenever I could. Just, trying to do whatever I can. I don't know. I don't even know if this helped, or if this did anything, or if it hurt the tank more than it helped. But I sat there and I did this for a long time. So you see all the bubbles and all the foam. And then, doing all this, I'd actually splashed so much water out that when the water, the power turned back on, the pump was suctioning all the fucking water in. But yeah, you can see all the corals. They're not the happiest, but not in the worst condition either. And like I said, I just got water sucked in and pushed all around the tank. The corals are still kind of opening up a little bit, and they're doing well. 9 hours was a decent amount of time, but it didn't seem to be too much time, and that's all that matters. But the very next day, as soon as the lights turned on, I checked the tank, and Nemo was gone. And this one kind of hurt too. It hurt even more. He was the first fish that I got from my little 5-gallon reef tank. And watching them both go was just, don't really know what to do after that. It kind of makes you want to quit and stuff, but we power on. We forward through. We have the tang. He actually started clearing up. After the other 2 fish went away, he started clearing up all... I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. He just started looking much healthier. He started getting his color back. All the flukes fell off. It left him with little scar spots. And now he just swims around the tank all to himself. All in all, at least I didn't lose all the livestock. It really sucks, but we move forward, we power forward, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get more fish, but until next time, thank you for watching.